Bonafide Hustler here, and today we are going to do the lifestyle Q&A. I'm sitting here looking on my phone, and yeah, I'm going to give priority to the first questions on this show. And this is basically an open Q&A. I call it lifestyle Q&A. Basically, it's the more active fitness lifestyle, but some of you guys want to learn about a little bit more eBay type questions. So we have 7 questions in line right here. Plus, I'm going to go into the feed, and I should be here for about 30 minutes. So this is going to be kind of a short show. So I'm going to go first with this Q&A. If you are joining this channel for the very first time, A, subscribe. B, I am a professional reseller, but on a part-time basis. Basically, I am buying used items from thrift stores, garage sales, estate sales, yard sales, flea markets, pawn shops, swap meets, big box stores. And I put it on places, I put all these used goods, typically used goods, on eBay, Amazon, Craigslist, my antique booth, and other consignment stores in town. Anyways, this is my YouTube channel. And yeah, if you also want to check out my other YouTube channel, which is more fitness oriented, you should check out BODDAMN, B-O-D space D-A-M-N. And we can ask questions about the fitness stuff if you guys want to on this show. But either way, I'm going to do half the questions sitting right here on the phone, and I'm going to do half the questions that come through the feed. So let's go right to the phone questions first. I put up a graphic earlier today just saying ask away, and I'll give priority. So this one comes from Cool Hand Sook. It says, I need somebody to tell me exactly how to keep track for tax purposes without having to hire a CPA. Do I track the cost of each purchase, track the net profit, add up the net at the end of the year, and take that to a tax guy? Should I use software? I've tried over and over to keep track on paper, but I give up. All right, so this is how I do it. I have, well, where's my wallet? It's not here. Okay, so I have basically, envelopes, and I take each receipt that I get from thrift stores. One of the best thing that you can do is any kind of thrift store buying that you do it on one particular card, for example. And I like to try to keep one card only for that or very large purchases. So the card that I use is a Southwest Airlines miles card, so I can actually get some miles out of that stuff. But the stuff adds up. You know, if you're spending on average $30 to $70 a day, during the week thrifting, for example, that stuff will add up during the end of the year. During the end of the year, you should have around 2 to 3 flights if you pick your flights correctly for free. So anyways, so I'll kind of let you know how I do it. When I go to a thrift store or something like that, I'll give you 2 instances because these are the 2 most confusing ones out there. One is, and hopefully you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me, okay? But one is the thrift store one. So you go into the thrift store, you find some cool stuff, they print you out a receipt. What I do on that receipt, before I even leave the store, I take the pen that I sign my name with, and I take that pen and I write on the receipt what I bought. Okay. Now from that, what I do is I separate monthly. I take those receipts, I look at them monthly, and I separate them to where they belong. If it's an FBA type purchase, I just put FBA and here's the amount. It doesn't really matter what the actual item is because I do an inventory count in the beginning of the year and at the end of the year, and everything in the middle is pretty easy to track. But when it comes to eBay stuff, it's like you kind of know when you're buying an item whether it's going to go to eBay or kind of go to Amazon. So I'll write down, like today when I bought a Solo boots, which you'll see on the Hot Shot, but I wrote down, women's Solo boots, parentheses, the size number, all that kind of stuff. So in about a month or the end of May, when I look at all my receipts, I'll be able to put those in my Google Documents. Okay, it's a Google spreadsheet, not a piece of paper like a Word doc. But if you go to Google Documents, you can actually get the spreadsheet one, and it's just like Excel. All the formulas pretty much work the same. And at the end of the year, when you're tallying up everything, it's really easy to do. So you definitely want to record your buy cost. This is what I record: where I bought what the item is, where I bought the item. Well, it's not even where I bought the item. I have tabs on the bottom. So if I go into my tax sheet for 2018, it would show mileage. It shows various stores in town where I buy certain things. It has a Goodwill tab. It has a Salvation Army tag, a Savers tab. And then within each tab, it has item, right? And then it proceeds down to buy cost, sale cost, shipping cost, buy date, and sale date. So those are the things that I record. And at the end of the year, it's really easy to figure out what's sold within the year. So that's how I do it. It was just a way to make everything a lot simpler. And after every month passes, I seal up the envelopes. I don't open them up again unless IRS tells me like, hey, we want to see your purchases for March, and all your eBay purchases or the way that you tracked your eBay stuff for March. So I could pull a March envelope and I could give them the link to, whatever they need for March, and it would be already ready and done. So that's how I do it. When it comes to garage sales, I use this. And this is a money rent receipt book. You can find this at any Office Depot or Office Max or anything like that. And since I'm going so fast, my handwriting really sucks in this book. But you see my ride-alongs. I move really fast. But I put down the date. I put down what address. All right. I put down what I bought and I itemize it. Like right here, 3/3/2018. I was at 7667 Shoal Creek. $20. I spent $20. And I got a Robotech robot model, for example. Here's another one, 3/3/2018. This was 4602 Ramsey Street, 4 candle holders. Oh, you remember that video, $45. So there's that. And then fast forward till today, I have everything in here. Here is last week's garage sale stuff, 5/5/2018. This is all stuff that's meant for eBay. 8100 Pampas Cove, yeah. Green vintage backpack, 25 cents. So I know all these things, and at the end of the day, on the garage selling day, all I do is I take all this information and I put it into my Google Doc in the eBay portion, or actually in the garage sale portion. I have a portion that is garage sale. So it's like it shows garage sales, Goodwills, Salvation Army Savers, other thrift stores, pawn stores, REI garage sales, and so on and so forth. So it's really, really well tracked and it's easy to do. So that's how I do it. Okay, so what's going on, guys? Good to see everyone. I'm going to shout out to a couple people that are here live. Peter Ray, we got Sherry, we have Glenn the Swamp Picker, we have One Heck of a Thrifter, Sarah Horton, Callie's World. What's up, Callie? Good to see you. Heather Smith Reseller. I think I was on your videos the other day, Heather Smith Reseller. Someone forwarded me something about one of your videos, and I tried to find out where you were having trouble like subscribing to a subscribe bell. I couldn't figure out where the video was, but anyways, thanks for being here. Gentex512, good to see you. Happy Friday to you. Cindy Rosen, Nick K, Adam A517, GVR, Bro Science Hustler. Good to see everyone here. Stephen Fielder's in the house too. Okay, so let's go to the next question. I'm wondering about your private label product. Is the difficulty of eBay scalability the reason for the venture? I love the channel. Thanks for all that you do. This comes from Nose Picker, Knows Picker. Let me kind of explain the private label product and why I decided to do it. First of all, I'm a creator at heart. I love just creating things and creating things that have my passion behind it. And I've always been told that if you follow down the road that you're supposed to go and if you put your business behind the things that you love to do in life, then you don't feel like you work a single hour in life. So I like that. So I decided, a couple of years ago, I'm really, really good at hustling. I am really, really good at fitness. I'm very good at finding what I believe is true happiness through movement, meaning staying super active and stuff like that. So I decided to make a private label brand that is all about that, is all about, maintaining that awesome fit aesthetic body and being able to do stuff with that body. Because that's the problem with, I think, America now, is there are too many people that look great on Instagram and stuff like that, and then they're never doing anything active in their photos. They're just sitting there posing and doing this, doing that, but it's like they're not doing anything active. And I think it's a huge, huge disservice to the younger crowd out there, and even to our age group, to show them like this is the way to be. It's absolutely not the way to do it. It's all vanity, and no, it doesn't work like that. Like, honestly, being able to move quick and get lost in the wilderness, I think that's where real happiness is and lies. They always say connect with Mother Nature as much as you can. You never hear it say connect with a Stairmaster in a gym as much as you can. That doesn't make any sense. Like, no one does that. Well, plenty of people do that, but no one really would ever say that. So is the difficulty of eBay scalability the reason of my venture? No, it's because I have true passion in it. I've always wanted to have my own thing. And that's the reason why I built the private label brand. I started it 1.5 years ago, and it's going to finally have good traction in about 3 months. So yeah, I think it's pretty cool. Regarding eBay scalability, there's a question down here. I'll address that real quick. What's up, Stephen Fielder, with a $25 super chat? Thanks, buddy. You're always representing hard in my chat feeds, man. You're going crazy with the super chats here lately. But thanks, Stephen Fielder. I really enjoy that. That's going to go to the surfboard fund. That's right. I am saving up for a surfboard, maybe 2, at the rate this is all going. Okay, next question. How do you manage yard sale fines on your taxes? That's basically what I just talked to you guys about. This is from X Spartan X DJ. Tax information for beginners or secrets would be very helpful. I kind of just told you guys what was up 5 minutes ago. So that's how I manage tax stuff on garage sale stuff. I report all my eBay stuff. I report all my Amazon stuff. Yeah, so I think you should too. When you find the Holy Grail, will you stop looking? No. For me, it's on the hunt. Me too. This is from Fireside One. It's good to see you, man. The money and everything is just gravy. The hunt is what makes it exciting. What are your thoughts? Yeah, I'm 100% on board with your statement. There's just too many Holy Grails out there, and it's testament to A, waiting and being patient, and B, being knowledgeable. So, I've found a couple Holy Grail kind of things here and there, but the hunt is always really, really fun. And honestly, the hunt keeps me, it makes me money because I'm not spending anything on full price goods typically. I try to find as much garage sale stuff and wear it in real life or use it in real life. And that kind of stuff makes a lot of money for you. If you're not sitting there constantly on Amazon Prime, like buying things, and maybe you go to a garage sale and you're buying, someone's Clorox bottles that are 75% full for 25 cents, that's still a huge savings. For example, you've been to those garage sales and it has like Pine Sol and Clorox and Swiffer things and all this stuff that you use eventually. It's like, why not just buy it? And even if it's like open a little bit, who cares? It saves you money. You can take that money and go on vacation with it, or you can buy something cool like a surfboard. Okay, Anthony Otto, do you see any signs that the influx of new resellers is slowing down? For a lot of reasons, that's what I'm seeing. Thanks. I think Craigslist Hunter made a video about this the other day regarding resellers that were YouTubers. And I think I've seen that slow down. But I also think it's not because reselling is hard. I think it's because there's they really adjusted the monetization heavily on YouTube in the past 2 months. So that really kind of deterred some people because half the fun of YouTube is getting discovered, but the other half of YouTube, if you know what you're doing and you do it well, you get paid from it, right? Do I see any signs that the influx of new resellers is slowing down? No, I think honestly, with all the information that's in YouTube, with the help of Gary Vaynerchuk and some other random people out there that have pretty big pulls, I think it's just growing. I think thrifting is definitely in. I'm seeing thrift stores coming up in every city that I visit. So yeah, thrifting is cool. It's like a cool thing to do. Buying absolutely new stuff at Nordstrom Rack or whatever, that's just for the birds, man. Like finding one-off really neat garments and having that feeling like, oh, you held out and you got a great deal, like that's just totally awesome now. I think it's always been a good feeling or something that has been kind of in, but now it's really in with the spread of social media and everything. So I don't know if it's really slowing down. I would honestly say it's either plateaued or it's climbing steadily, but I don't think it's going down. Hawaii Entrepreneur Podcast. Here's the next question. Is eBay a scalable business? I always hear my friend who does Amazon wholesale talk down on eBay and always say it's not scalable. It's pretty much true. Honestly, if you deal with one-off goods, then it is kind of not scalable unless you have a team of people that know exactly your style and what to look for and will buy on your behalf, which very few eBayers do that. Most much larger eBayers are going to have themselves as the main eyes and the main picker kind of person, and then they will give that stuff plus their templates and their style of how they want the eBay stuff done to workers, or it could be family, friends, kind of things like that. So in that sense, it's somewhat scalable, but it's still dependent on you going out there and physically doing work with your eyes and sifting through clothing racks. Typically, it's not really scalable in a sense. So here's the other part of the question. I always hear my friend who does Amazon wholesale talk down on eBay. Look, I think everything there's an ebb and flow in everything. And I think the Amazon wholesale thing is, eventually going to fizzle out because Amazon's trying to undercut everybody. I mean, it's just the way it is. And I think Amazon went direct to Traxxas like not too long ago. I don't know, but it's a radio controlled brand, for example. So if you're selling, wholesale Traxxas, for example, and Amazon comes in and becomes their number one kind of like dealer, I mean, you're kind of toast, for example. So I think everything has its ebb and flow. I think if you're into wholesale, that's cool. If you like talking down on eBay and whatever, I mean, it makes you feel better, that's great too. I think everything has its ebb and flow. And I think for any one person to hang their business above someone else's and just always say you're not doing it right. That's not the right place to do your business. That's stupid and all this stuff. I mean, I think it's a pretty bad business mentality to have. You should be open to people making money, and if their own style is what they want to do, and teach them your style. If your style is so much better, just teach it to them, right? But don't talk down on people, and don't say that what they're doing and their choices are stupid. It says, I guess he thinks it's a waste of time trying to go picking to get a profit. It's for some people, and for other people, it's for some people, and that's just how it is. Some people love doing it, and some people don't. But each person, I think, honestly, even if you're in corporate America, there's almost everyone is looking for a second or third form of income. Even the most successful people, there's almost always something on the side going on. So, is eBay scalable? I'm gonna go ahead and say not really. So that's just my professional opinion on it. All right. So from one heck of a thrifter who is actually here. Let me make sure. Okay, yeah, so I know you're here somewhere. I think I saw you earlier. What's up, Matt Jackson? Good to see you. Cheddar weather's in the forecast. That's right. It is going to be cool. Tomorrow should be really, really good. Matt Jackson, when are you going to change your intro video to have a picture of long hair Chris from the short hair Chris? That's a good question. I don't know when, but yeah, it needs to change. Okay. One heck of a thrifter. Question. I'm here, so my question to you is does all the thrifting, do you ever get to a point where it becomes overwhelming that you shut down? No. But sometimes I feel as if I'm too good of a thrifter to where I can find things a little too quickly. So my main constraint right now is, because I do pre-boxing and everything like that, but my wall is like nearly full. So I'm going to have to expand a little bit. Don't know where, but I'm going to expand, and it's going to require me to purge much needed stuff out of my garage, things I just don't mess with, tools and stupid things. I mean, tools aren't stupid, but I have a lot of tools. So, there's a lot of redundancy in there. So some of that stuff needs to go. So I will expand the box wall a little bit. Does it become overwhelming that I shut down? It has before. And that's very easy for it to happen. It happened coincidentally when I was going for items that only had $20 pure profit, right? And I just find those things left and right. And then before you know it, this office was getting piled up. I had to have talks with my wife because it was just like, oh, I just don't know how to get all this stuff done. And she was like, it's just eating you alive. And she saw it in me. So that was about 1.5 years ago. And I'll be honest with you guys, I went to go see a therapist because I was like, man, I feel like my life is kind of spinning out of control. And it also coincidentally happened at a time where one of my good friends, like I just knew was not a good friend for me, but he's a good friend. Let's put it that way. But all my trying to help this person out, it wasn't paying off whatsoever. And it really got to me. So yeah, we'll just say this, but it had to do with drugs, not my side, but his side. So yeah, it really kind of ticked me off a little bit, and that plus something else and all the, it wasn't hoarder type stuff, but there were just a lot of items and things that I wasn't super pumped up about. And I was also spending multiple days a week going 4 or 5 hours thrifting and finding so many things. And that's really what led to the Road to 200 thing. Was less is better. Less is amazing. I can show you pictures from the back of my Prius at that time. There, like the whole back was just filled with packages, and it was just like an average weekend. And I could show you a picture of, let's say, last weekend, and there's only 3 or 4 packages, right? Same amount of profitability, if not more, less work. Okay, so less feedback too, but at the same time, less work, and the same profitability or more, but definitely less work. So it just goes to show you, if you take the time to look at what you really care about, then, or what you're really capable of, then you'd be surprised what you can do out there. How hard was it? This is the last part of the question. Then I'm going to go into the feed right here, and I'm going to answer your questions. And after this, I'm going to, okay, my camera's here somewhere, but I was going to show you my vlogging camera. I'm going to edit today's hot shot. So here's the second part of the question. How hard was it to get your eBay rolling? I've tried 3 times and it's failed. What advice could you give me to keep going? Lots of love from Raleigh, North Carolina. All right, so I'm going to kind of tell you how it is. To get your eBay rolling, you have to understand fundamental things: keyword research, 12 pictures, how to do a listing. Pretty easy stuff, honestly. Don't worry about getting a store so early in the game, all that kind of stuff. Don't worry about that nitty gritty stuff, but you got to know how to make a listing, how to optimize your keywords, how to not kill your description. And then the most important thing, and this is where most people go wrong. I mean, anytime I look at if I do critique to a store, and look, my store is not 100% perfect, but it aligns perfectly with my mentality and what I know. But when I see some people's stores, other people's stores, not all of them, but other people's stores that are like, hey, Bonafide, can you take a look at my store? Here's my link. Can you help me out with anything? And I'll look at that. The pictures would be great. I mean, everything is like perfect, like on their 30-day return policy. Everything's all spelled out, all badass. It's mobile friendly. It looks great. Keywords are somewhat strong, but the item is too common. It's too common, and it's like a very cheap item, $20 or below. So that's probably issue number one. You're dealing with almonds. You're dealing with common items, and you're dealing with very low profits. So of course it's going to get frustrating, right? I would say deal with much higher grade profit, wait it out, and study the higher grade stuff. Get away from, I would say majority of clothing and stuff like that, and start going into the sporting goods section, start going into housewares, go into and learn a little bit about, I don't know, tennis rackets and bags, for example. There you go. Learn about shoes. Shoes are freaking incredible. So much better than clothing to resell. But that's what I would tell you is stop. If this is what you're doing, or you're messing with maybe random trinkets or just really common random items, that's not good. You want a high profit marketable item with not a super saturated market. So if that gives you any amount of feedback, that's what I would do. Okay. Hey, what's up, College Picker? Good to see you. Yeah. Naya Munch says, what's the best way to get keywords? I explained that on yesterday's live video, so go check it out. I think it's past the halfway mark, so if I can save you some time, go check that out. Okay, so I'm gonna go into the feed now. I'm done with all. Let me make sure there were 7 questions. Yep, I'm all done with this. So if you ever see on my page, a thing like this coming up, then this is priority questions right here. All right. And every Friday, I plan to do a show kind of like this. Now, we can talk about eBay stuff if you want to, reselling stuff, or we can talk about lifestyle stuff, which is that other side of me that some of you guys know about. Okay. One heck of a thrifter. There you are. So yeah, thanks so much. Yeah, you're totally welcome. Yeah, keep asking away on Fridays and stuff like that. I can't promise you I can get to all these questions during the week or anything, but I get back to some people. I just can't get back to all of them. There are a lot that come in through Facebook, and there are a lot that come in through the green room. I give green room priority, of course, because it's my room, but I try to get that back to all my Facebook ones, but it takes a while. Okay. Thriller Gorilla Picker. Hey, Chris, have you sold any vintage boomboxes? Yes, I usually put them in my booth, and honestly, 6 out of 10 will have non-working tape players. So I put them in my booth. I pick them up for $5 and less. I put them in my booth for $20 and more. So that's basically how I do it. I haven't found any of the most amazing looking ones like the Lasonics or the old sharp ones that have like a silver front, with equalizers and stuff like that. Those are really hard to come by, and most people that have them know. Like, okay, like this is some Run DMC looking stuff. Like I probably shouldn't just chunk this on the curb or put it out in the garage sale. I'll probably put this thing on eBay. But every now and then you get lucky. But most of my boomboxes, if not all of them, will go to my antique booth. Okay. California tacos versus Austin tacos. Austin tacos all the way. California tacos. No, California knows like surf burritos really well. Fish tacos, I would probably say California. But when it comes to really amazing tacos and good salsas, sorry, but Austin has it. Okay, Malu Jimmy. It's amazing what happens. And let me preface this. I haven't even read the whole thing yet, but I have hustled with Malu Jimmy 3 or 4 times now. He's been in the green room a couple times. I don't know. I think he's still in there now. He might not be in there, but anyways. But yeah, I have resold with Malu Jimmy in Houston. I've done it in Austin. He's one amazing thrifter. He's fun to be around, and yeah, I consider him my friend. So let me read his comment. It's amazing what happens when you focus on higher dollar items. It retrains your eye, and you end up finding better items on a more regular basis. So absolutely, just don't be fearful of it, guys. Like, believe in yourself and study up. Okay, that's the reason why I create the guides that I create. And it's the reason why we have places like the Green Room that exist, so we can really help people to train them, like start looking for higher dollar stuff, and wait it out. It's okay to wait it out, but trust me, when it hits, you know, a couple little home runs under your belt, you'll be addicted, and you'll start to realize, wow, why was I hustling these $5 profits or $7 profits, or for me, $20 profits? Like, why was I doing that? That's crazy. Just hold out for the good stuff, and you'll come. Heather Smith Reseller, when am I doing a video on the Green Room meetup? I vlogged the whole meetup, and it's in my playlists, so you can go check that out. The Green Room meetup is going down in 4 weeks. It's in exactly 1 month from today, basically. Kind of nervous about it because I handle most of the planning. And then there's some, I handle most of the planning on the ground level here in Austin, but me, Steve, and Eric have done the rest of the planning behind the scenes. Yeah, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be in Austin, Texas. There's an itinerary already. There's a Green Room Meetup 2018 page outside of the seminar, which is on Thursday, and the actual final event, which is at a ranch on Saturday. The Green Room event is actually free to the public, but outside of those two things, those you have to have a ticket to attend. Anyways, okay. Powerman32, does vacation mode affect metrics, or is it better to extend handling time? You know, I do a couple things. When I was in Vail back in February, I did vacation mode, and it's all right at best. A lot of times I just cancel all my listings and I just restart them a couple days before I leave. So that way, when I get home, it's like I already know, like, bam. I always restart them like a day before I leave. So when I get home, there's a couple things that I have to ship off, and that's great. So I don't know. We live in a very now kind of time. So I don't have enough information about vacation mode to give you like a positive yes or no on that question. Is it better than extending handling time? I think if you extend handling time, then I don't even know if people are going to see that part. So I think vacation mode would be the better way to go between those two things. But I've also, and the majority of the vacations that I've done, I just cancel all my listings out a day before I leave, and then I resume a day before I leave to come home. Okay. Bargain effect. Question, how do you feel about free returns? Ask that question. I don't know if I understand that very well here. I have returns on 30% of my items, probably not all of them, but 30%. And it's a free return, essentially. Like if they want to return it, they can, and I will pay return shipping. Now, if it's something very large or something that I know, like, ooh, there could be like some scamming people here, then I jack up the, what's it called, the restocking fee all the way to 20%. And then I put the shortest amount of return possible, like a 14 days. So that way, if they take some time to like figure out if they really want it or not, and then I'm hoping 14 days passes, so it's done. So I do things like that. Because there are scammers out there, but with the stuff that I resell, it's been probably 2 years since I've been scammed, honestly, about at least 2. So I'm not going to let one instance 2 years ago affect how I do business right now, because I'm surprised that hasn't happened recently, honestly, because statistically it should, but it hasn't. So I stay pretty good on my stuff. I don't think most of the stuff that's on my store for sale, people aren't going to scam those kind of things. I might have one pair of Air Jordans in there. I mean, there are no cell phones in my store. There are no PlayStation 3 units or anything like that to where someone could like send me back a broken one. There's none of that kind of stuff. So most of the stuff that's in my store is also non-electronic based as well. So that's something to consider. Clearance Ninja, can we hunt at the ranch? No, you cannot hunt at the ranch where the Green Room meetup is. Randy at the Flip Monkeys, is there a shoe guide that's out right now? I think, okay, so there is a shoe, I don't know if it's a guide, but I know it's a set of videos. It's called Killer Shoe Brands. I know Tino Pasquala, I think that's his name, and Steve Rakin developed Killer Shoe Brands. I think that's what it's called. I'm in that group. It's a really good group if you like to resell shoes. It's a little bit more on the formal side from what I've seen. Shoes that are a little bit more made of leather all the time. That's what I notice. So yeah, there's that. I have a guide coming out. Have you guys guessed what the guide is going to be, by the way? I have that coming out really, really soon. Well, I say that I'm 10% done, so maybe not really soon, but hopefully in about 2 weeks. I want to give a shout out to John Haywood, who super chatted me $4.99. That's good enough for some surf wax for my surfboard. So thank you so much, John Haywood. I really do appreciate that. I think I've talked to John Haywood behind the scenes on Facebook about a couple of things, so that's pretty cool. Thank you so much, John Haywood. That makes my day. So for John Haywood and Stephen Fielder, you guys are making my day with those super chats. I really do appreciate it. Jonathan Rivera, did I have a case before a booth? If I hear this correctly, I have an antique booth, right? When I first started it, I did not, I don't know if I had the glass case. I think I might have actually had the glass case, but the glass case was hella annoying. About 6 months ago, I got rid of it. I spent $100 to get this glass case. I also spent $25 in locks because it had these like little slide lock things, and where I bought it from, the locks weren't there. So I had to go to a locksmith person and get these little slide lock looking deals. Anyways, I got the glass case and I sold some things out of it early in the day, like in my antique booth career, like 5 years ago, 6 years ago. It just wasn't making a money-making kind of thing. Plus, where my antique booth was in the mall, plus in addition to what was around the case, really dimmed the case considerably. And this case did not have a light inside of it or a light that could be turned on and off. None of that. So things that were in the case were it just looked so dead and drab in there. It was just a complete buzzkill. So about 6 months ago, I was like, I'm done with this case. I went to the front of the antique mall. I told the people in the front, look, if anybody wants this case, then let them have it. And then nobody in the mall wanted the case. I was like, what the hell? So then I put a free ad on Craigslist for a free case, and it got picked up 4 days later. So this case sucked so bad that someone from Craigslist had to come get it. No one in the antique mall wanted it. Anyways, it was just a normal glass case the size of a desk. It was good looking, but without adequate light, and without the kind of business that dictates having a case in the first place, which is jewelry, smalls that people can steal. And I'm not into that kind of stuff. I'm into pearl snap shirts, cowboy boots, a bunch of really cool things like steel belted coolers and tables and chairs and like fun stuff that is very one of a kind. I don't care about bangles and watches and small things that can get stolen. I don't care about it because typically those things will cost more money to acquire, and it's just a pain in the butt, honestly. So done with the case. It's out of here. The most important thing if you have an antique booth, before you even get the booth, is to really actively take a look at who your clientele is in that mall. So before you pull the trigger on getting an antique booth, make sure there's flow of traffic, people going. And then the second thing is make sure that flow of traffic aren't people that don't buy anything. Like, you want people that have things in their hands, that look excited to like shop in an antique mall. You want to see things in people's hands. Like if you go to the Apple store and you see people touching the iPads and all this kind of stuff, and you see people just crowded and there's just activity there, and then you look at the Microsoft store and it's just like nobody there and no one cares, right? But you can see the difference. Like one makes money and the other one's like, I don't know, it just looks like it's dying. So that's the same thing with the antique malls. If you're going to do business in an antique mall, pick the one with the most activity, with the people that have the most things in their hands. And that will pretty much dictate the mall that has the people that visit it with the most disposable income. That's what you want. That's where you want to be. And if the rent is a little higher than the other ones that you've looked at, it's probably because of the traffic. So the rent in my booth is kind of high versus other places in town, but it's also the best, I think, antique mall in Austin, Texas now. And it has, for a prime spot like my spot, I think the waiting list is like 17 months or something crazy. It's ridiculous. So I got in at a really crazy time. And yeah, I got in maybe around season 4 of American Pickers. And now it's like with Storage Wars and American Pickers and all this stuff, people kind of want booths. So there are a fair amount of young people in my antique mall that have booths, and they're just pretty cool people, but they're no different than me, I guess. Well, they're not big and Asian. Okay, so let me go to the next question. What's this one? ATL World 2018. You buying an eBay live ticket off eBay? What? I don't know if I quite understand that question. Patrick Pearson, we've all gotten scammed selling a PlayStation. LOL. Yeah, there you go. There's one of the big ones. Randy at the Flip Monkeys says, thank you. I cannot wait for the new guide. $20. Man, these super chats. Okay, so $20 is going to probably get me half of a fin on my surfboard. I think the surfboard that I'm going to be buying, or something in the vicinity of what I will be buying, I have to buy custom fins for it as well, because most of the really good surfboards, they don't come with fins. You have to buy those separately. I have to buy a board bag, fins, surf wax, a leash, and the board. So with $20, for example, that definitely helps get a fin. I think that gets me 30% or maybe 40% of a fin. Thanks a lot, man. I have a portion of a fin now. That's pretty cool. I might have to get 3 or 4 fins for that board, but that's good. So I can't wait till I vlog this thing when I get to California. It's going to be really cool. But it's like, you know, it's mostly about all you guys that helped me get the thing. So, and Craigslist hustles, by the way, which I had one today. I had a $2 or $5 backpack today sell for 60 bucks. Pretty cool. College picker, case fail, Bonafide's worst flip. That could be my worst flip. Honestly, the one where I just lost the most money, 100 bucks. I think that could be my worst flip. That's possible that it's that one. I'm trying to think now. Yeah, I mean, that could be it. I don't really lose that much, honestly. Our time is out says, damn, $20 for wax. No, it's going to be probably for the fin, honestly. Yeah, because I think fins are 30 or 40 bucks a piece for, like, depends on what you want. But anyways, don't forget my shark spray, LOL. Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. I haven't seen any sharks in, that's not true. I have seen sharks in California, but they're in the shallower parts. I've seen stingrays when I walk out. Yeah, I haven't stepped on any stingrays. I haven't seen any sharks around me. I see dolphins when I surf out there sometimes, or porpoises, I guess. But yeah, not outside of that, pelicans. So nothing really crazy. Although about once a year, someone always gets attacked by a great white close to where I surf. I mean, within a mile or two. So, you know, it can happen anywhere. And I think statistically speaking, I can't let one incident affect my happiness for the love of surfing, basically. So, you know, just kind of happen. If it happens, it happens. I don't know what else to do about that. Okay, so let's go to the next question. You got any more questions? I will be out of here in about 5 minutes. Let me know. Am I going to surf the wedge? No, I'm not going to Newport Beach to surf the wedge. I usually surf Tourmaline in La Jolla, Scripps Pier in La Jolla, which is really fun. I do Cardiff. I like Cardiff if I have a longboard. I have a really good break out there. Yeah, every now and then I will surf 20th Street in Del Mar, which is a pretty decent break. And 15th Street in Del Mar is pretty good too. So, okay. Let me get a couple other questions answered here. Let's see if there's any more. I just got a Sharp electric printer calculator in working condition for $3. Any profit on this? That's from Naya Munch. I don't know. Look, if you're going to spend $3 or $1 or $2 on an item, even up to $5, $10, don't put your money forward without knowing what the item is and knowing what the market looks like, because only when you get to a very expert level reseller level can you do what I call blind buys, where you buy something based upon zero research. You just know that there's a market for it. Your intuition kicks in, your hunches are on fire, and you just know I'm making money on this item. But if you're buying a $3 Sharp electric printer calculator in working condition and you have no idea what the market is for that thing, that's a tough one, right? And a lot of beginners ask themselves those same questions, or they'll go to groups asking for people like, is this worth it? Look, the thing that's worth it the most is to stop and learn how to research. It's really important to learn how to research so you guard your money, okay? Because it's just as easy to make money reselling as it is to lose it if you're a beginner just buying random stuff that you heard randomly on some YouTube video are profitable, right? Like, oh, I heard electric pencil sharpeners are profitable, so I went to a Savers and I bought this one for $5.99. Is this good or bad? Like, first of all, you got to know where you're going to sell the item, what the market looks like over there. And second, the condition of the item. Can you test it? Do you know how to test it? And then 3, is it all there? So you have to know a lot of things in order to be a decent reseller, but the fundamentals really count a lot. So don't ever buy something when you're a beginner without checking the prospective market. And don't be the person that goes into the Facebook group saying, should I buy this, pick or pass? you know, that is the sign of not only kind of laziness, but it's the sign of I don't know what the research is telling. The research is very obvious on a lot of things. You know, I don't know what the research is telling me. You got to pull it up, and the research is going to tell you one thing: is there a market for it or not? Has anything sold in the past 90 days or not? You can look. You can research things in your town, for example, on Facebook Market. You can research things on Craigslist. That if you find a bike at a garage sale and you pick it up for $20, you can put that bike and that model name and plus the word Craigslist and press search, and all the times that bike has sold recently in the nation and Craigslist will show there. And some of them might be active listings, and you can take a look and gauge, oh, this bike on average is selling between $100 to $200 in poor condition to really well taken care of condition. I see it here for $20. That's how you do research, because then you know, like, oh, it's in my favor now to buy this item. I've done the research. Now, if you need clarification after doing your research and you've bought the item, but you need clarification on what avenue to put it on, that's great for, free groups and paid groups to put in there, because that shows you made the buying decision. You know that the risk is there and you've done it, but you want to make sure that you're putting in the right avenue. And that's a good place. That's a good place for, intermediate to expert resellers to help you out on. But there's not one thing in free groups and paid groups that annoy the intermediate and expert reseller to no end. And that's when someone comes in and goes, should I buy this or not? That is a really, really super beginner thing to do. And nobody's going to be able to kind of tell you, if someone says, yes, go buy that, they're saying yes from their perspective, from their risk perspective, their monetary perspective, and their perspective on how, knowing how to test it out and to make that listing. That's where the yes is coming from. But it still doesn't translate to you. You still have to know how to do all that kind of stuff. So you might just have it and the person said, yes, that's great. You still have to list it. You still have to keyword optimize it. You still have to know how to pack it correctly without breaking it. You still have to know a lot of things. So be very careful. Okay, sorry. A couple more questions. Let me take a look for some more. Does eMoney serve too? Yes, he does. He does. Have I ever had a bad experience having people come to your home for local sales? No. This comes from Bark Knuckles. It's basically become because I'm probably a slightly more intimidating than a normal person, right? I'm about 6 foot tall. I weigh about 193 pounds. Actually, it was like 197 the other day. And yeah, I mean, I don't think many people in Austin, which is a very friendly city to begin with, and the items that I sell on Craigslist, for example, are not shady kind of items. They're not like car stereos. They're not, subwoofer enclosure boxes. They're not gaming related. They're not motocross related. So it's not going to attract a bunch of weirdos. First of all, the stuff that I sell is completely different than that. So the chance of having a weirdo is it's pretty much minimized at that point. Not to say that weirdos don't come by, but I know how to keep a conversation really short. I know how to make them, get out of there quickly. And that's basically it. I had a Craigslist deal today. It was about 1 minute of conversation, exchanged money, done, And that's typically how it is. It's about 1 minute and pretty much done, unless it's a bike, and then it's sometimes 2 minutes, for example. So, okay. Joe Molina says, homeboy is strapped. The whole cul-de-sac is strapped. That's true. If I do night ones at my cul-de-sac, I always kind of gauge what the item is. I'm like, all right, like, is this going to kind of bring that versus, the email sequence and what I've seen the person say back and forth to me. I can kind of gauge whether this person is probably highly educated or not. And that cues me to either meet them at a gas station or meet them in the cul-de-sac. Now, if they come to the cul-de-sac and it's past dark, I will have my neighbor or Emerson and myself come out all at the same time, and they just kind of watch over me. But I have walked out numerous times with a gun in my pocket. I just have. So what else? I mean, nothing's ever gone down, but if it was to go down, I would... yeah, it would be really probably frightening, but I would shoot right through my shorts because that's what you're supposed to do. Okay, teach him how to fish Bonafide clearance ninja. That's right. One heck of a thrifter. This is so true. Thank you so much. Brad Kennett, of course, cool stuff makes money, but if you think it's cool and the market does not, it's bad. That's true. The market decides what is profitable and what is ultimately cool. Remember, if no one is willing to pay you for something, it's worthless. That's coming from Brad Kennett. I love that statement. Man, you are on point, dude. Chris Panozzo, sumo or conventional? I think he's talking about deadlifting. I would love to relearn sumo. I used to sumo back in the college days. Yeah, the summertime in the college days. Someone in whatever gym is on Richmond Avenue in Houston, right by 610. I don't know what it's now. It might be a 24 Fitness, but that's where I learned how to sumo. And I liked doing sumo to where I'm going to relearn it in the next month or two because it was a really good movement. Now I do conventional and Romanian, and I like them both. I made a huge mistake the other day. In fact, today I was really paying hard for it. And yesterday I paid crazy hard for it too. But on Wednesday I did my leg day and I kind of took a micro break last week. If you were watching my ride-alongs, you know what I was talking about. But I was going in for very high rep sessions, only in for 30 minutes because I was supposed to take a week off and I didn't. And I don't know if that was the greatest idea or not, but it's very hard to walk away from something for a week that you've been doing for decades of your life, you know? So I went in Wednesday and I went full ham on my leg workout. I mean, just straight ham on that thing. And the next day I was like, oh my gosh. I mean, I did squats, deadlifts, leg presses, both variations, leg extensions, plus I did lunge walk. I mean, the next day it was really, really, really hard to go mountain biking. Everything was hard to do the next day. And today, which is the second day, which is technically supposed to be the worst day of the pain, it is very, very, very painful today, to the point where I'm like, all right, I probably shouldn't be doing squats and deadlifts on the same day. It is that painful. So very hard to bend down, over, whatever. If something falls on the ground, I'm like, oh God, like, like it just crosses my head for a second, like, oh my God, like I have to go pick that up now. So probably the most pain I've been in 3 to 5 years. Like it's a lot. So I don't know if taking vacation is the best idea for me, or maybe just cracking into the workouts slow is probably the solution. I don't know yet, but very, very painful. Gentex 512, I'll do extra squats today for you when I head to the gym. Jen, you go do that, you little fit girl, you. And we should definitely do another ride along. I enjoyed hanging out with you for sure. Silver hair stacker, dang my wife, he is redheaded too, nevermore, I can relate. Where's that coming from? Okay. John Haywood, our police station has cameras for meeting with Craigslist customers. Cool. Look, if I ever get really, really crazy and worried about something, I'll just go to the gas station and then I pay very high attention to what's in my rear view as I go home. So I'll make sure those people do not follow me home. Gentex 512, let's do it. Sweet. This weekend, I have Mike the mailman tomorrow on the ride along. It's going to be awesome. But yes, Gentex 512, if you remember correctly, I think she was the first woman to be in the hot seat in the spaceship. So yeah, we had such a great time with her, me and E-Money. And so hopefully we'll see her again. I would love to hang out with you again. Never more antiques. Hey, sorry, Chris, we're actually having conversations apart from you in the chat. That's what the chat's all there for. Powerman 32 growth feel. That's right. Look, pain is, what is that statement? Pain is what leaving the body? Or no, something is pain leaving the body. Help me out with that statement. There's something like that. But yeah, the feeling of growth when muscles are growing, there's DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness, that occurs 1 to 2 days after your workout, for 1 to 2 days after your workout, if you're training really, really hard. If you're sore on the 3rd day, that's a problem. So tomorrow, if I feel sore, my legs are still really sore, that means I went way too ham on my workout, and that's not good. So I'll have to scale back a little bit. That said, Melody Jimmy says, any tips to relieve the soreness, stiffness the day after workout? Honestly, the best thing to do is to maintain blood flow in the area. So for me, if my legs are hurting, like I went on a mountain bike ride yesterday, I was like, I gotta get spinning, gotta get the blood there. And then your nutrition has to be on point. So your nutrition and water intake has to be dead on, right? If you want the DOMS to be 1 or 2 days and not the third. So yeah, I mean, there's only so much you can do. If you're training hard, it's gonna hurt. But for me, it was taking that week off and then going full blown on the leg workout. And I went full blown on my chest workout on Monday and like my back and bicep workout on Tuesday. I went ham on all those workouts and I felt it like never before. And it's just because my workouts are designed to be 3 weeks at a time, and I pivot every 3 weeks. I'm pivoting to another workout, to another workout, to another workout, and that's how I stay in pretty good shape. And that's how I get the fastest results possible. But that said, I can't afford a week of just kind of messing around when that 3 weeks starts up. It's like I record everything I do on week 1. I try to outdo it on week 2. And then week 3, it becomes very hard to outdo it, but I challenge myself even further to do it on week 3. And then week 4, it's another 3 weeks starting over again. So I custom build myself another program, and that's how I do it. And it's really intense stuff. So here we go. Clearance Ninja said, this is what I was thinking about. Pain is weakness leaving the body. That's what I was meaning to say. Okay, so Nevermore Antiques, I need to go to the gym. If you don't go to the gym, then yeah, you need to go to the gym. But if you go to the gym, then just optimize your gym. Work out smarter. But yeah, the gym is a fun place to get things done. If it's the only thing you can do in your life to stay active, I'd say it's better than nothing. But most important thing really is, do strength-based training 3 to 5 times a week, and then nearly every day of the week, go on a walk, a run, or a bike ride or something like that every single day. That's really important to do. Nevermore, you should work with me, Chris. I'm a fat guy, and you could use my weight loss to promote your other channel. Yeah, totally right. When I build my fat loss routine, I'm going to be looking for people to test it out on. So just stay in touch with me, and definitely subscribe to my other channel because I will be giving hints on when it's coming out. Okay, so I ran my first 10K Saturday, then worked a 15-hour shift, and it was the most painful thing I ever did. LOL. Patrick said that. Yeah, I mean, when you go for something that you've never done before, and you just shock your body like that, it's going to hurt the next day. So take in a lot of water, a fair amount of electrolytes. A lot of times DOMS, low sodium can kind of affect it. So we want to have adequate amounts of sodium in your body and really good nutrition. And of course you need sleep, because if you have crappy sleep, that DOMS is probably going to go into the 3rd day, maybe 4th. And if you're in the 3rd or 4th day and you're still sore, big issue. It should never be like that. So when I say DOMS, I'm saying it very quickly, but it stands for delayed onset muscle soreness. So you don't get sore the day of, it's delayed by usually a day or 2. So delayed onset muscle soreness, DOMS. What app do I use to scan books? I use the Amazon Seller app. It's very basic stuff. It's free. It's free, yeah, even if you have the other account versus the $1 one or the $40 one, it's free either way. They have YouTube on the gym machines now. Oh, that's pretty cool. Lord Ahab, you know who to watch then. Heather Smith Reseller, it's 100 degrees today in Texas. Where do you live, Heather Smith Reseller? Let me know. Are you close to Austin? We should totally do a ride along. Heather Smith Reseller, dude, I cannot find the video for the Green Room Meetup, LOL. There should be a playlist. I know I have a playlist on my channel. Go check it out. I know I do. You can kind of figure out if you go into the June videos on my channel, so you can sort by all of Bonafide Hustler videos, and I think there's like 800, but go around July of every year and you'll see, look for videos with like crowds behind me, or me and Eric or Steve Rakin together in a picture, and that will be around the meetup one, and you'll see the meetup videos. But last year the meetup was in July, the year before that the meetup was in July, the year before that July, and the very first one was in July as well. So look around the July videos, the early July videos, and you'll see it. This is the only year that we are doing an early June one, so if that helps you out. Lubbock, okay, that's where she lives, so that's 6 hours from me. Cool. If you're ever in Austin, Heather, please let me know. Fireside What? I'm in good shape. I would be in great shape, but I have a hard time because I'm always hungry. I eat a lot, then I have to make up for it. Yeah, food is crazy. Food is definitely one of those things. Like I allow myself 2 to 3 really good cheat meals a week. When I was building Ryan Roots' workout plan earlier this week, I put in 2 to 3 cheat meals. Actually, I put 2 on his, but I put 2 cheat meals on his. And you have to really, until you get the the wheels going and everything right, you have to do that, okay? You have to be able to get the initial gains first. And then once you have these initial gains and people are like, damn, you look good and getting more muscle, then I challenge you to try to undo that, because at that point you realize, damn, I actually achieved something really, really awesome, or I followed a plan and it really worked for me, and now I have a chance to undo it very quickly. I mean, a couple nights of drinking, you know, really crappy, salty, fried foods, whatever, you can undo this thing in a couple days, sometimes a week. You can undo most of your gains. And that's what needs to cross your mind. Most people are just never get to see that first step, that first, like, where people notice you and they go, whoa, like, you are on the right track. You look awesome. Most people never allow themselves to get to that stage. And that's a huge, huge disservice to yourself, because that stage is very important to get to. Once you get there, you can make decisions at that point and go, oh, do I want to undo this? Or do I want to keep going and push the envelope, see how badass I can get? And that's where I help people out, is people, well, I help people out all the way through, but that's where I really enjoy it, is towards that latter portion, is finding the fun stuff that you can do with your body, because then you realize I can change my body, and then you start to realize, damn, I'm mobile again. I can start moving around quicker. Wow, what can I do with all this? So that's where I play a big role, that's where my life circles around, is all that stuff. When I say good cheat meals, okay, look, a cheat meal can be bad. I don't like a cheat meal to exceed 30% calories more than a standard meal at that given time of the day. So if I do a cheat meal in the breakfast time, you know, average breakfast for me might be 500 to 600 calories. I wouldn't want where I'm eating to have a meal over 780 calories, for example. I don't want it to exceed 30% of that meal. So that's basically a cheat meal in essence. All right, my battery's getting really low. So a top way to make 2K a month reselling. I know, vague, but give your best answer. You know, study the top 20 to 40% of amazing items to resell, and I think you'll be okay. 100 amazing items to resell. There's a guide free below. It's a link. Go check it out. Learn bags too. Bags are great too. Learn shoes as well. Shoes will definitely help you make that. Uniquely me, I'm joining the green room this week, Chris. Can't wait to enjoy the knowledge. Cool. So that would be amazing. Tracy, hit me up behind the scenes, please, before you do that. Okay, what type of foods? I underate because I got sick, but I lost a lot of weight. Yeah, you never want to do that, because then you rebound real bad. Diets are, man, most diet plans are crap. A human body likes to eat. You just have to be able to expend the energy, the calories as well. Most people are just like, yeah, it's easy to eat. Then I gain all this weight. I don't know what's happening. I went on a diet. It's like, because, yeah, you enjoy eating, and most people enjoy eating. And it's okay to, you know, there are plenty of people that have amazing physiques and that can, like, run real fast and bike real fast and surf and snowboard and do all this really cool stuff and still eat a bad meal a couple times a week. And that's the kind of level that I think most people need to get to, is to realize that eating bad is not only making you feel terrible now, but it's going to catch up with you sometime later. It's a matter of time. But when the doctor says, hey, we found this and you got to change that, might be too late. I mean, is that what you really want to chance? You know, so it's always best to change it now and get that out of the way and go, okay, you know, like, I have to do this. Like, there's no other way to do it. I have to do this, get your mobility back. I have to lose weight, and just start doing what most people do. You throw away the sugary drinks, you end the pastas, end the breads, and that's kind of step one. Step two is you become overhydrated. Step three, get in the gym. Step four, exercise every single day. Get a hybrid bike or a cruiser bike and start pedaling around, all right? And make it a thing to where you're not sitting there tracking how many miles I did. Just get out there, start thinking about your life, and go as long as you can, right? Get lights for your bike if it's nighttime where you live. Like, don't build walls anymore. Tear down walls and freaking go after it and crush it. Because then you're going to figure out a lot about yourself once you tear down those walls. You're going to realize a lot of things. And one of those things you're going to realize is that you can freaking do it. So anyways, okay. I think that is pretty much all the time I have today. It's 14% battery on my computer. My cord's in the other room. So guys, if you enjoyed this lifestyle video and lifestyle Q&A, this is all improv done. I'm just trying to help you guys out. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button. Please hit the like button for anybody that super chatted me some neat money for pieces of the surfboard. Thank you so much. I really did enjoy hanging out with you guys. But yeah, I always enjoy you guys supporting my channel, whether it's from a simple like, or you write comments, or you do my assignments in my videos. I enjoy every single one of you guys being here. I really do. So till then, till the next Bonafide Hustler video, which should be Monday, I will see you and have a good weekend. Oh, never mind. I'm actually going to edit a video right now for you. So stay tuned. In about 1 hour, it should drop. Take it easy. Goodbye.